Hello, and welcome to your quick introduction to Restoration and 18th century English literature for dummies. The first thing you need to know is that English literature is not synonymous with British literature. English literature is not just literature written by authors from England, it's literature written in the English language. British literature is more specific than that. It refers to literature associated with the United Kingdom. So let's talk Restoration literature. What's that? Well, the English monarchy was a mess during the 1600s. King Charles I was executed, and this led to a period of time in which the people were governed by a parliament with no monarch. There was a lot of opposition to this new government, though, and finally, in 1660, Charles II was invited by Parliament to serve as his father's successor. This was the beginning of what is known as the Restoration period, meaning the time in which the monarchy was restored. English literature written during this period is often in reaction to these political changes, and it's referred to as Restoration literature. There's no one date that marks the end of this period, as it differs from genre to genre, but 1689 is a date commonly used. So, let's talk about the literature of this period. Many modern forms of literature, such as journalism, travel writing, history, and biography, have strong roots in this period. Poetry was plentiful, and pamphlets were popular. And there's even a famous first-hand account of the Restoration, written in a private diary by a man named Samuel Pepys. The restoration of Charles II as king also marks the restoration of the theaters. Yay! Public stage performances had been banned by the Puritans for the 18 years in which they were in power, but with the monarchy back in power, the ban was removed. English comedies with witty dialogue and often a sexually explicit nature characterize Restoration drama. So not far on the heels of the Restoration period, we have the 18th century. Now, I did say this is an introduction for dummies, so the first thing you need to know about the 18th century is that it is not the 1800s. You see, the first 100 years of the Common Era begins with the year 0 and extends to the year 100. That's the first century. And moving forward, the 100 years between the 1700 and 1800 year is the 18th century. In 18th century literature, we see the development of the modern novel, lots of satire, political essays, and even the first children's book. How cute is that? Well, that's the end of our brief intro to Restoration and 18th century literature. For some more detailed information, you can check out the links and the rest of the information on our webpage. Cheerio!